Hello and good morning. It is Friday the 15th of July. My name is Steve Pugh, and if we don't know each other, every Friday morning I do a bit of a live stream which goes out onto LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and lots of other kind of platforms, and also recently to Instagram, which is one of our big things. Basically what we have is we have a business course called the Roadmap MBA. It's now in 32 different countries, and what we aim to do is help teach the real world skills to help you grow your business or career. And one of the really important things that we do is that not everyone likes to learn through reading. So although we do have a book, which we send out to anyone, any of the paid kind of members on the course, we do podcasts, we do live streams, we do loads of interactive stuff that really help you understand and really kind of make that change. That often when you read a business textbook, there's loads of great theory there, but actually implementing it is harder than you think. So one of the things that we do is that we do live classroom sessions 4 times a week, where basically it's similar to this. It's like a Zoom call where basically we walk through the course and talk about different stuff. And the idea is to actually help you make a real difference in your business or career, because that's the whole point of why we kind of do it. So in the live stream, what I tend to do is talk about stuff which has happened this week, stuff that's hopefully of interest, especially if you kind of follow these, on and off generally. You'll also see the progress and stuff in my business as well. And one of the major reasons that I kind of love to do that is that you get a lot of advisors and people and consultants and stuff that all talk the talk, but they're not actually any good and they don't actually do anything themselves. They just tell you what to do based on someone else's theory. As right, you'll actually see me do this stuff every week and see the progress and the stuff that we're doing. It's up to you whether that's something that you want to build in or by trust or whatever. But it's also part of the reason why I do talk about stuff that I've done this week, which hopefully kind of makes a difference. So this is the book, and today we're actually going to go through module 3, which actually on personal branding. And one of the reasons why I thought this would be quite interesting is that every Friday morning I try and think of content to kind of do and talk through that might be kind of interesting. But especially, so I'm a chartered mechanical engineer, that's my kind of background. It's picking stuff that people might not always have a huge kind of knowledge base on, that everyone kind of gets what business strategy is and what marketing is and what sales is. But one of the major things, whether you run your own company or you want to get promoted in your career, something called your personal brand, which is what people kind of think about you and say about you behind your back and all of those kind of things. They are things that we genuinely can control. So I like to talk about them, and it is module 3 of 16. So it's one of the things that we look at on the course, and we do cover everything from aims and goals, your skills that you need, your personal brand. We have 3 modules on business strategy. We have 1 big module on marketing, which I think is my favorite one. We have 3 more on sales. What is a sales pipeline, sales prospecting, and kind of one-to-one meetings and interaction. We have leadership and management. We have lots of other kind of great stuff as well, and 1 on finance as well. And the whole point is it genuinely does aim to give you the kind of complete skills to help you grow or develop in your business. So that's what we do. This is the live stream, and it is genuinely 8:55 here in the UK, so this is live. And I genuinely love it again when people get involved in the comments. So actually, if you send a comment, it should pop up on my screen. And the one thing we're going to do as well, because actually we are broadcasting to Instagram, and actually it does appear to be working, which is great. The reason why, and it was one of the learnings from last week, is that on the software and stuff that I use, in theory the chat's meant to come up on the screens, but for Instagram it wasn't. So thank you for Brooke for kind of pointing that out. But likewise, I'm actually going to rest that there so I can keep an eye out. So if on Insta you have any questions, comments, anything, I'm going to try and hopefully see them. This is all kind of part of the learning curve. That the truth is, for any business, you're never going to be perfect straight off. So actually, this is one of the things that I've been trying to learn, that when you have different format video, be it vertical or whatever, there is a learning curve to it. And then just because I know some of the regulars will be interested, one of my new toys this week is actually this. So it's called an Elgato Stream Deck, that until recently I'd always run the stream basically on my wireless keyboard with some hotkeys, which were basically sticky notes on certain keys. And it was a bit crude. It wasn't the best, but actually it kind of worked. I'd wanted one of these for a while, and what it does, it gives me much more control over the stream. But actually, one of the things I've been super impressed with, the productivity improvements it can get me for my actual, so I use Macs, my actual desktop and setup every single day, nothing to streaming, is brilliant as well. So I'm going to do a 2-minute tech review on that at some point. Some people will be interested, some people won't, but that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So at 8:57, what I'm going to do is jump into today's topic. What we're actually going to do is walk through the module. So there's only 8 or so pages, and I'm just going to talk through some of the main kind of concepts and stuff. Hopefully it's interesting. If it's not, you probably won't watch. But if it is, please kind of send me a message or whichever, and I'd love to kind of just know and get a feel for what you're up to and that kind of thing as well. So I'm just going to go to my laptop and just switch over. Okay, is that on the screen? Perfect. So even if you don't have the textbook at home or with you now, that's cool. We can still kind of walk through the various different stuff. What I'm going to do is just zoom in and talking on the main bits. But one of the things that you might see when you look at the screen, and again, this is just one module, we try and set it out so it does look and feel like a magazine. I didn't want it to be this really big, heavy text that kind of is boring to look at. It's just all words. So if we, could possibly simplify it down, we have and we can. And yes, I'm just going to jump in, but if you want to get involved, please send me a comment. And then likewise as well to our friends that do watch around the world. There was a lady last week who followed from Thailand. And actually I thought it was quite cool that some people use this to both learn business and career skills, but also to learn English as well. So genuinely, that's something that I've kind of learned recently, and I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so to start with, what is personal brand? What is it to you? Why should you care about what it is? As I mentioned before, it is essentially everything that people think about you. It could be what they think about your business. And the whole point is that there are things that we can do and control to really make a difference in that. Over the next kind of 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through a lot of the stuff. And the idea is just to give you the seed, give you the ideas of things to consider. So the first one, if I scroll around on my screen, I know you probably can't read that, but hopefully you can if it's in full screen. So what we're essentially looking to do is understand, where are you now? What is it that people actually think about you or your business? We want to really understand what is your personal and professional brand, and actually how can we kind of help? I think my sound is still on. I'm just going to turn that off. There we go. Don't want to get any feedback. And actually just really, when you look at your aims and goals, the really important thing for anything we do is actually there needs to be a purpose for what we're looking to do. Some people might just want to have 100,000 followers, but there's no point. What we really need to do is know where we're aiming towards. We talk about it on the course, and actually it's a sales kind of technique, but almost if you can be seen as an authority or an expert on a topic, it really helps people buy into who you are, what you do, which then goes through to conversion and that kind of thing as well. But in terms of your personal and professional brand, it is really important to understand both where you are now, what people think, what we're trying to do, how do we do it, but actually have a goal in mind. So I'm going to flip on to the next page. One of the really big things that is worth looking at is that any personal brand has 3 main parts to it. One, it has to be authentic to you. So there'll be things that you are genuinely passionate about. So for me, it's equal access to education. I want wage inequality to kind of reduce. There's, that whole kind of community thing is super important to me. And then likewise, I also really believe in the benefits of education, what it can do for someone's life or career. It works for me, and that's something that I've kind of now devoted my life to at the roadmap. That is my mission. That's kind of what I want to do. So that's authentic to me. What's relevant? So likewise, when we communicate to our audience, whatever that is, why should you care? So for instance, for the roadmap audience, if you want to grow your business or career, you want to get promoted, you want to launch a business, but you're not sure how, or maybe you've already launched the business, but it's not quite taken off as much as you want it to. How do you create content, and how do you make it relevant so that people kind of care? So for me, it's how we communicate it and the value offering and that kind of thing. But again, there's no point just pumping out crap to a random audience. You really need to make it relevant so that people kind of care, or at least have an awareness of kind of what you're doing. And then likewise, what makes you unique? So I put a post out yesterday, and everyone has their own unique blend of skills and talents that really kind of makes a difference. That why would a Steve Pugh course be different to someone else's course? And again, what we're really looking to do is that if you are just the same as everyone else, why should people buy your kind of stuff? Is we're actually based on where you grew up, your background, your hobbies and interests, if you have kids, all of that nuance. Is that, for instance, because I don't have kids, I won't relate as well to parents, because I can't talk about issues about time management and doing school runs and that kind of thing as well as someone that can. So therefore, if you are a parent and you want to launch a rival business course, you could really have a more unique offering in that space if you talk about stuff which you really understand, which is relevant to your audience in a way that your competition, which in this case would be me, wouldn't quite understand. Does that make sense? But it's really important to really think about what makes you authentic, relevant, and unique. And essentially your personal brand sits within that, right in the middle. So next, and obviously if you have the book, this all kind of follows through. So this would be page 50 and 51, which is where we're up to, just in case you want to follow along at home. So the next 4 things to be aware of, and this is all about what is your personal brand and what is it that we're actually trying to control. It's called the ABCD model. And what we're essentially looking to do is look and have a conscious awareness of your appearance, your behavior, your communication, and then likewise your digital presence. In terms of appearance, so this again comes down to what it is that you're looking to try and sell or the job that you're looking to go for. If you want to be seen as a management consultant and be seen as a professional kind of level, that includes dressing and appearing like someone that people would imagine would do that job. Does that make sense? So if I turned up in to do this live stream and do consulting work with clients in a t-shirt and shorts, that is what I wear on weekends. But in terms of my personal and professional brand, this is kind of what I wear, and I wear this all day, every day. That it's a shirt, it's trousers. I actually wear trainers, but you probably can't see that. But the idea is that that is authentic to me, that this is what I'm comfortable in. And it's at that right level for me, for where I kind of sit. If I wanted to portray a more serious, formal personal brand, I might have a tie on and a jacket, but that's just not me. So it almost would, lose some of the authenticity. But then likewise, if you wanted to be a yoga instructor or a fitness instructor, you wouldn't wear this. You would wear whatever is appropriate for your job. And the whole point is it's having a conscious awareness of your appearance relative to what it is that you're looking to do or achieve. Likewise, if you are in your career and you're really looking to get promoted, if you are a solicitor or a lawyer, there is a certain way that people might expect you to dress, both in terms of to be professional in the office, but then likewise, one of the big things that we talk about on the course and a lot of the kind of studies say, it's how to help people see you as a CEO, a leader, a director, a senior manager, a partner, whatever the promotion is. That likewise, if you wear scruffy clothes that, have holes in, or they're not clean or they're not ironed, people aren't going to see you as being at the top of your game. So your appearance really kind of does matter. And that also goes down to your having a nice haircut and having good teeth and good skin and that kind of thing. There's a really important thing that I actually disagree with and fundamentally don't like, but it is just a real thing. And it's called pretty privilege. And there have been hundreds of studies done where basically people, attribute positive attributes to good looking people, rightly or wrongly, simply because they're good looking. And it's one of those things that when you have a car or basically any clothing or almost anything on an advert, generally the models or the people that kind of present the product or act in the advert, they're all good looking people because inherently we for some reason attribute positive attributes of being good looking on the product. Does that make sense? But the point is, in terms of this, whilst we all probably can't really change too much about ourselves, trying to be in shape and just do the best we can will make a positive difference. Even if it morally is wrong and it shouldn't, they kind of will. And actually, hi Brooke, yeah, it is really worth kind of have a conscious awareness of. I'm just really happy that we promised to do a test on the kind of to see if the chat was working, because it doesn't work on my screen, but on Instagram it does. So thank you for that. But yeah, so anyway, so that is your kind of appearance and just something to be aware of. Behavior, again, is a really interesting one. That depending on what job you want to do, how you want to be seen, if you, again, work in a business and you want to get promoted and be seen as a future CEO or director of the business, if you behave in that way and people see you as trustworthy and credible, they're going to see you in that position and basically promote you a lot quicker than if you kind of turn up late, joke around, do a lot of stuff that actually, that's fine if you want to do that, but it's really what we're trying to do is improve your brand of how people see you. And then likewise, if you go to networking events or you interact with certain people, almost know or try and know what's culturally acceptable in different environments. And again, it's just trying to build your brand and have that kind of chameleon-esque ability to adapt based on your kind of scenario. And again, almost act in the way for the jobs and the clients and stuff that you want. And again, a big thing to do that, which links in with communication, is actually how you speak, how you communicate, your body language, the way you use your arms, that kind of thing. That likewise, people genuinely trust people that can communicate well so much more than people that can't or don't. So actually, one of the reasons why I do this live stream is that I can have ambitions that in 5-10 years time, hopefully at some point, I'll get to travel more and speak on stages and do a lot more media at a bigger kind of level. And this is all practice. And even when, you know, you kind of do things and you give your elevate pitch and you talk about the course, I genuinely do kind of see all of this as practice for, you know, a few years time. That actually, I don't even mind if nobody kind of watches now. It's all about trying to build for the future. But then likewise, you know, if you are confident and you're not afraid to speak in a room, people do often, you know, attribute that to leadership kind of qualities that's really kind of worth looking at. And then last but not least, digital. So almost all of us will have some sort of digital presence. This could be your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, YouTube, whichever. And again, what we're really trying to be conscious of here is what is it that you put out to the world? And is there anything that a future employer might find on the internet? It could be your OnlyFans account, it could be anything that they might not like that could later hamper you, or worst case, almost get you fired. A prime example kind of with that is that you see lots of celebrities that get cancelled because they did a tweet when they were 12 that was homophobic or something, which again, they shouldn't do. But the whole point of having a conscious awareness of your digital presence is actually to be, you know, do an audit, see what's out there on the internet from your MySpace account from 2002 and take it down. Or go through your tweets and just delete them all or edit them and just check that what is out there in the digital realm. But then relating to this in the very kind of nature of a live stream, you can actually show and demonstrate these positive qualities that what you want people to think about you through stuff like podcasts and live streams and interviews. That the whole point of what we're really looking to do, which we go into in module 7 on marketing, is awareness. So that if you have a business, people can't hire you or buy your product if they don't know you even exist. So actually using digital tools is a massive thing that, you know, even if people don't want to buy your product, they might think, actually, that guy seems all right. He's a good communicator. He talks with his hands and whatever. But the point is, it's still better to do that than not do that, if that makes sense. And often one of the things that we talk about, and again, we cover it in the course, is that when you actually put a post out on, say, LinkedIn, and it could be a blog post or whichever, there's a huge difference between the written word, which only communicates so much in kind of what you say, versus video where people can get a feel for and actually hear your tone of voice, your body language, and really you get to communicate so much better than if it was just a written word alone. And all of this comes down to personal brand, that if you're looking to, you know, you want to be on the front cover of Forbes magazine as a future kind of business leader for a tech startup, people will judge you on your appearance, your behavior, that kind of thing, but also they have to kind of discover you. So these are things really kind of worth keeping in mind. Okay, so next I'm just going to skip down to page 55. So one of the things that's really important to kind of keep an eye out is that actually, essentially, when you're looking to build your personal brand, one of the really important things to do, and this is for any business or company, is really have a conscious awareness of what does the world actually think about you already. The example I always use is, say, Steve Jobs, where Steve Jobs actually reportedly wasn't a very nice man, as most people would put it. He was brilliant at what he did. He was mega passionate about the product, but he could be pretty brutal. But the point is, in terms of your personal brand, be honest about what people actually think about you and own that conversation. So some of the challenges people might say about me is that I'm too self-promoting, I do too much online stuff, and it probably annoys some people. But I know why I kind of do that, and I almost call it out, if that makes sense. Often if you call out people's criticism against you, it kind of just diffuses all of their ammunition. And then likewise, you know, if you have a brand, so one of my clients is a recruitment company, within the personalities in the business, that they're not necessarily everyone's taste. You know, people resonate with different kind of people, but almost own that conversation. You know, class yourselves as the real people that, you know, relate to a certain kind of demographic. But the point is, no matter what your background is, don't be afraid to own the conversation about it. And another really big thing as well is that, say if you launch a business and it doesn't work out, there is some sort of failure, maybe you go bankrupt or whichever, again, own that conversation. There's nothing wrong with actually saying, look, I'm a 2-time failed business owner, but this is what I learned about it and this is what I'm doing now. And it all kind of builds trust and authenticity. So rather than trying to sell a dream that you are a business consultant that can help someone grow and whatever, then someone Googles you and finds out that you have 2 failed businesses, own it, really kind of declare it up front. And I think that's really important, just as something to do. So on the course, we kind of walk you through just ways to think about this to really kind of build your knowledge and stuff on the topic. So then if we go to page 55, the next step is actually, what do you want the world to think about you? This is a really big thing. So what we've done is look at what do they currently think, but what would you like them to think? So for instance, this could be for your brand, or this could be for you yourself. If you actually have a gut feel on, you know, I want people to think I know what I'm doing, that I'm credible, I'm really knowledgeable on this particular topic. What you should really kind of do, and we do on the book, is actually to write these down and make a list of the stuff that you want to talk about or be known for, because then this guides the content which we put out. That you genuinely can change what people think and people that discover you for the first time based on what you talk about. So for instance, if you want to be a chef and open a restaurant, the more you can talk about food and why you're passionate and cooking and the process of cooking and, you know, getting ingredients and whatever, that's a conscious awareness of what you put out. And then what people are going to do is actually start to think, you know what, that person really does know what they're talking about. I trust them and believe them on that topic. But it's really useful to actually come up with a list of doing this. Often people kind of just wing it and they just make up stuff, or they put out a post because they think it's the right thing to talk about. But actually, the more you can tailor that down to actually what you want to be known for, I promise it kind of works. So there we go. I think most people know the whole Simon Sinek thing about why. What is your why? What is your kind of purpose? Again, yeah, I really agree with this. This goes back to being authentic and unique to you. For me, the why and the business, basically we're looking to make business education accessible to 5 billion people. My why is that, yeah, growing up, I didn't have access to a lot of stuff, that, you know, money was an issue, that I've both seen the benefits of what business and education can do for someone, their community, their career and their family. And I kind of want to help more people do it. Often as I went through my career, I had to learn everything the hard way from scratch and then actually figure out what works when you know, come to actually do it in your career, when companies hire me to help turn stuff around. And it's to really kind of take that knowledge and really help other people make the same kind of step, is what I'm trying to do, because I do genuinely believe in the ability to help people, you know, build a better life for themselves. And that's kind of what I do and why I do it. Here for you, whatever it is that you want to do, the more you understand that for yourself, it is super kind of valuable. Great talk from Simon Sinek, who I think pretty much invented the topic. So it's an 18-minute video, which you can definitely find on YouTube. There's been tons of stuff written on this, but actually it is really quite useful. And then again, just knowing that inherently in yourself, what is it that kind of goes back to making you authentic, relevant and unique, really kind of goes back to your why. Okay. So next, what we've then started to do is actually we've created the list of, you know, what people currently think about us, what we want them to think, and we've really kind of tried to understand the concept of being authentic, relevant and unique. So this is at the core of what we do, but actually there are several traits that sit around that depending on what your business is and what you want to be known for, that really make a huge difference in how we then communicate that. So if you think of it like an onion, what we're looking to do is that we've got the layers of the core bit in the middle, then we add in the stuff around the outside, which really kind of makes a big difference. For me, but actually for a lot of kind of different entities, this was taken from the CIM, which is the Chartered Institute for Marketers. They talk about the need or the benefit of being seen as entrepreneurial, works well and liked with others, trustworthy, you're a good communicator, shares your visions and values, you're commercially aware, inspiring, knowledgeable, creative, and has a good business network. All of these are things that which you can add into your list of stuff that you kind of talk about, which again is proven by the studies to really help you communicate at a better level, to really help implement your personal brand. The good business network, again, when you go to events, talk about them, show them. Obviously on LinkedIn, you can see people's kind of follow account, but all of these things are really important. But yeah, again, the big thing that when I went through my kind of career, I remember when I really wanted to be promoted to managing director, and you have to have people take a punt on you to get that first job, to be, you know, to go from there to there. And often that will come down to your brand in terms of, do people believe that you can do the job? Do they have faith that you have these traits? And again, a lot of people have these skills to really kind of, you know, grow and excel in their career. But if you don't talk about them and you don't share them and you don't really have a conscious awareness of it, you might struggle. So, you know, these are all things on page 59 that I think it's really worth kind of talking about. Then just before we kind of finish off, the next one, and this is on page 60 in the book, if you have it, the whole point of what we're looking to do is actually, we call it planting seeds for what people think about you. This will help grow over time. It's actually something called priming, where basically you know, drop a seed, or actually it will grow and people will start to change what people think about your brand, you, yourself, and what you're kind of all about. But we have to do that. And then last but not least, actually, you know, just planning what we want to say isn't good enough. We actually need to tell people. And the whole point of this is actually how we take all of these really interesting things in terms of your personal brand, stuff that you're passionate about. It could be your company, it could be your products, but we have to actually tell people, you know, there's no point launching a business which could be the best business in the world, but if you don't tell anyone and nobody knows about it, they can't buy your products. And it's these kind of things that genuinely do make a massive difference. In terms of the book, that is just something that we go over. That's one tiny chapter of stuff that is super important to kind of consider and actually start to actively take kind of control over. And this is before we actually start to go into business strategy stuff to figure out how do we really take your business or entity, or even you yourself, whatever job you have, and really make that better. And then as part of kind of 16 modules, what we do is help, you know, walk you through your entire business or career, start to finish, to really understand what it is that you want to do, how, and everything you need to know to kind of go through that today. Hopefully this was interesting. Thank you for Brooke on all the kind of comments and stuff on Insta. If you catch up on this at any point, please feel free to kind of get in touch. All of this goes onto YouTube as well, so please kind of like and subscribe if you kind of catch up on this. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to drop in. And then likewise with the roadmap, so our mission is to make business education accessible, and we're trying to do that for 5 billion people kind of worldwide. Then we've got a new website coming in a few months' time, and then hopefully just after that an app. And all of the pre-recorded stuff, all of the content from the book, everything will be 100% free. And then we're going to have 2 kind of paid tiers, which will relate to the live classroom sessions, but also the printed materials, some carbon offset, and actually donating courses to other people as well. So the community element is genuinely mega important to it. We're on this journey, we're kind of going through it, all of these little tweaks and improvements, like actually just trying to get the Instagram feed to work and trying to learn different stuff. Is part of my kind of journey. I appreciate it's Friday. It's been quite a busy week, but luckily I'm now at the point where I believe I've caught up on everything, which is great. And then going into the weekend as well, for me, it's a chance to kind of get ahead of the game and really help improve and, you know, just do stuff which helps me kind of move forward. I'd love to know as well for you that whatever your business or career is, often it is in lots of kind of baby steps that we actually kind of make progress. It's never one big thing that magically just kind of happens or helps to really, you know, make that big jump. But if you're interested, if you get in touch at guest list at roadmapmba.com or follow our socials, you can also apply for a completely free course as well. And we send them out all around the world, and it's there to genuinely help you with your business or career. Jonathan, thank you as always. I hoped this was quite interesting for someone like yourself or whoever. Whenever there's so much content out there, often it's those little reminders. Have you done your website yet? I'm joking. But it's those constant reminders to actually, you know, of things to do and think about. But often in business, a bit like fitness, most of us kind of know what to do. but it's the things that it's the reminders, it's the lead actions, as we kind of call them on the course. And actually, the more you can do that and really help refine all the different phases of your business or career and just get things done at the right point, I promise you it works. And then, hopefully over time, you'll see this kind of grow and develop as well. So have a happy Friday. Have a great weekend. I've got an interview with a chap called Gary Giles on Monday. So Gary was actually on Dragon's Den for his business called Ogle, which is a really fantastic sustainable building kind of product, but great super guy. We're going to talk about all of his kind of journey, the product, how he got there, but also about Dragon's Den, what happens behind the scenes and that kind of stuff as well. So that'll be 4 p.m. on Monday. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. All right, cheers guys. Bye-bye.